Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. Matt and Christy saw the monster, and I did not. So I will cede the floor.
All right, so The Monster is a story about a young woman and her daughter who are driving through the woods to take the daughter to her father because the parents are split up, and there's a very contentious relationship between this girl and her mother. And on the way, they run into a wolf in the woods, like literally, their car runs into one, and they wreck, and maybe something took the wolf out, and maybe there's a monster in the woods.
What time is it?
It's 12:15.
Not a soul inside.
Don't do that.
We gotta call 911.
Hello? We've been in an accident. Let's go back to the car. Dogs don't got teeth like this.
There's a flashback structure going on here with this, right?
Right.
So yes, so it's going back and forth between the mother and the daughter at the scene of the car crash in the rain, and what do they do on this little 2-lane road? And it flashes back to provide context as to why that dynamic is so tense and why she's going. And although I liked the way the stuff in the woods is staged and shot and lighted, it's very minimalist but creates quite a mood. The stuff in the actual flashbacks is really emotionally pretty powerful, and the stuff that gives it perspective, and just how horrible this little girl's life is, and how fucked up the mother is, and how they clearly need each other,
Right.
but are terrible for each other, and every day is a nightmare. Like that, some of that stuff is scarier than the monster in the woods.
Yeah, I think that this is a movie that's trying to do something really interesting, and I don't think it quite gets there.
What's it trying to do, do you think?
I think that the movie is trying to show how this little girl is set up to ultimately take on this monster because it ain't any worse than what she's grown up with.
Because her mom's made her tough.
Because her mom's made her tough, because her mom is so broken, right? I mean, you see scenes where her mom's her mom and whatever boyfriend at some point are arguing over like the drugs that the daughter has hidden, or she's found her mom passed out on the bathroom floor. Like, her mom is a fucking traffic accident.
This is Zoe Kazan.
Zoe Kazan.
I should mention the name of the little girl is Ella Ballantyne. She's really good.
Yeah.
She's like young Reese Witherspoon here.
And so this daughter has had to grow up in an accelerated way to kind of become the caretaker for her mother. And as cliched as that may sound, the movie's really effective at showing that. And then, so when, as there's these scenes with this monster menacing them, you see there's this pivot that the daughter does to kind of be able to hold her own. I don't know that the flashback structure specifically helps us get there with that. I kind of see where it's going. I don't know that I felt the impact of what it's supposed to do. Kind of like you guys are with Arrival, I'm a little bit more impressed with, like, on a cerebral level with this movie than I actually am emotionally. And I felt like this movie had the opportunity to really grab me emotionally, and it doesn't quite. It's okay, and I think it mostly gets there, but it's not quite doing what it needs to do. And I felt, I don't know, I guess like maybe I didn't, the monster of the movie, it doesn't ever get as scary as I think it needs to be, right? And I guess part of it is,
when you see it, like full frontal monster.
yeah, I think part of it is when confronted with this monster, I didn't quite feel the change. I didn't quite buy the change from being afraid of it to no longer being afraid of it.
Well, they have to survive, right?
They have to survive, but I just didn't quite buy that she turned that corner, right?
Who's Zoe Kazan?
The daughter.
The daughter.
But
the daughter is always the one from the very, very beginning. The daughter's like, wake up, get out of bed, pack
Right.
your bags, we have to go. She's been like the
capable
mom.
one.
She's the mom. And yeah, this movie has a lot of cliched notions to it, like the mother being the child and the daughter being the grown up, and the monster clearly is so obvious what the monster is a metaphor for.
Well, yeah, but I don't think so. When the monster first attacks, like, I think we're seeing the daughter be the daughter, right? And if we're seeing in the flashback that she's the mom in this relationship, then we're not seeing that when the monster attacks.
Eventually, the mom has to become a mom.
Right.
So they need to help each other.
I just don't think it quite delivered. I mean, it's not terrible, and I see what they're going for. I just don't think they quite got there.
It's
right?
just it's kind of an obvious device. I'm not sure what it's doing is anything terribly novel, but it does it really capably and with great tension and great mood. I mean, to me, the monster is just a device for them to work through their resentments. It is an opportunity for them to have a reconciliation and for the mom to have redemption, and it's very obvious what the monster represents here. It's a literal monster, but it's also very figurative.
It sounds like they could call this movie The Metaphor.
It is. It's pretty obvious what we're going for here, but it's so well acted, and like the sound design, just the way it's lighted, and the use of stillness in the rain when they first crash. Like he creates. Okay, Bryan Bertino. He's done a couple other horror movies. So remember Sinister?
Oh,
Sinister?
yeah.
He did Sinister. So in terms of mood, it's really, really well done. In terms of the message it's trying to convey, it's kind of obvious, but again, well acted.
Yeah, and
well
I guess part of it is, for me, that metaphor is so ham-handed that
it's so obvious.
I mean, the monster might as well have a sign around its neck.
I'm a metaphor.
Right.
So yeah, it's in this year, in this past couple of years, where we have some really, really smart, well-made horror movies. This is maybe not quite up there with something like It Follows.
Right.
Speaking of horror movies where you've got a big thematic message going on here, but it's well made, solidly acted. I was like Zoe Kazan, so she's good. And the little girl in it is great. Yeah, she just reminds me of young Reese Witherspoon here. So my number is a 6.2.
Yeah, it's a 6.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah,
I
we're
didn't hate it.
6.1, and so it's 75% on the tomato meter. What was a really good horror movie that we just saw recently, like in the last?
Don't Breathe.
Ouija. No, Don't Breathe. Don't Breathe.
Don't Breathe.
You Wesco Rabbit.
Ouija,
But
Origin of Evil. Yeah.
That was really good too. Yeah. So there are a lot of really, really smart, really like beautifully made horror movies out there. This is not quite there, but it is among them somewhere. So 6.1's our average. See it. Bye.